This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. Today's book I would like to suggest is I Am Not Your Negro by James Baldwin. Let's make something clear while we're on here having this conversation. People that look like me did not choose this. However, our race, the color of our skin, and what we believe in from where we came is not a crime. We still have the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And please take that into consideration every day you walk out of your house and into the streets. Before I forget, please like and subscribe to this video. It will move us up in the algorithms, and you will get that content a lot quicker. There is this guy on the internet, and his name is Paul Lance. And he did a quote from Mark chapter 10, verse 25. Now, I'm not a Christian, but I'm going to recite this. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Now, this individual started something called the General Strike, and you all need to really get on board with this. And why I'm saying this is not to convince anybody. I don't care how many people subscribe. If you do subscribe to this channel, at least you are getting the information you need to move on. We have known what was coming since 2016. But I digress. Man, half the time I don't even know where to start. Let me talk about fear. Let's talk about that. I have almost 30 years of documented civil rights activism with the American Movement and the Indian Inmate Support Project. I have sent food all over the place, even though I could not afford it. What you cannot afford as an American right now is to sacrifice your liberty for a job. Let me be clear. Donald Trump, no matter what Democrats decide to bend the knee to in Congress, your jobs are gone. If you're black or brown, they don't care about the economy or the price of eggs or agriculture. They don't care about any of that. They don't care if you eat. The fact that you cannot recognize that is phenomenal to me. And the reason why I say this is because I come from a long line of Native Americans and black people who have been starved out of the system. And because right now people like Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, Jared Kushner, and the Trumps own your lives and your liberty, those of you who voted for him are starved out of the in crowd. And that's what it is. Donald Trump is making up all these meme coins and all that stuff and selling them to red states. And you're buying it. And you're loving it. The more you get abused, the more you love Donald Trump. And I say this to the Senate, in the House of Representatives. We on the streets who paid taxes last year are not latched on to your rhetoric about Medicaid. So it does not matter how many Republicans say that they want to give Medicaid to undocumented workers. And it does not matter how many Democrats want to say that we want to save your health care. We are not paying any more taxes anytime soon until we find out what last year's taxes funded. And what I'm talking about is DOGE. We need, as American citizens, to keep any money we have and any resources we have and gather around people who can give them to us, not wait for this government to capitulate to Donald Trump. No more tax dollars will go to the House of Representatives, the body of Congress, or the Supreme Court unless we get our due. Now, what that means is this. Buy your Christmas presents now while you can. Because we have more power than Donald Trump. Not because we have the numbers, but because we have the secrets. All those people that were fired are now advising us. Not how to overthrow the government and be terrorist organizations, but to do what our founding fathers prescribed. We must rise up against tyranny. That being said, Democrats in Congress have the full support of every blue state in this union. Hold the line. Do not cave. But you need to understand that there is more on the line than Medicaid. While you were listening to CNN and MSNBC, we were understanding what people are willing to do to support people who will fight for them. Hakeem Jeffries, Jasmine Crockett. Wes Moore has been a great governor to our state. J.B. Pritzker and others. Hold the line. We are not weak as blue states. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a human rights movement for us. People are being brutalized in the streets every single day. In Portland, and Chicago, and Memphis. We can't sit back and pretend that this is okay. And the longer Republicans perpetuate this violence on our people, the longer this government shutdown is going to last. I'm telling you, the next thing coming is a general strike. My people, my supporters have been doing without since 2016 and putting things away for this moment. So you have two choices. You can either sacrifice now and do without certain things, or there is going to be no one left to defend you once black people, Latino people, and red people have been renditioned and exterminated. Which you see in reports like Status Quo News is exactly what happened before Nazi Germany started burning people and putting people in gas chambers. This is how it starts. But the good news is, we don't need the Supreme Court anymore to dictate how we adhere to the Constitution. We don't need Congress to give us permission to defend our families. I call it trickle up economics. And that's the lighter side of what I'm saying. No continuing resolution. No placating to Donald Trump. For you Democrats in Congress that I see on TV every day talking about health care, cut the bullshit. Because we demand more than that. If you are too weak to make it happen, we will. Now, the biggest mistake you made, and I'm going to tell you this, is trusting white people like Nancy Pelosi and Merrick Garland. The second mistake you made was throwing David Hogg out. The third mistake you made was giving the Democratic nomination to Hillary Clinton when nobody wanted her in there. We wanted Bernie Sanders. And if he had been president of the United States way back then, we wouldn't be here right now. But I digress. On behalf of 70% of the American population, Democrats in Congress, no matter what, hold the line. Let us tell you what we want and stop getting on TV telling us what we're going to accept. We will accept nothing less than the defunding of ICE. If they want to fund ICE, then you ask them where that DOGE money went and they can fund it with that. That's not going to happen. This general strike is, and when it does, nothing is going to be paid. No mortgage, no taxes, no toll booths, no nothing. Trickle up economics. You exist because we fund you, all the way up to the President of the United States and including these MAGA fascists. We will not fund it anymore. So if people ask me, when is this government shutdown is going to end? I say when the last dog is hung. We want our money back. We want ICE off the streets. And we want to stop people from being brutalized in our neighborhoods. And with that, I will add this. Here's another caveat. If we fund the government, including a continual resolution, those same atrocities and the people getting beat up will be funded for another, I don't know how many few months. But if Democrats get on health care and make that the thing, they're making you a victim of the okie doke. Because the real thing is this. If we pass the big beautiful bill and all it entails, ICE will become the long arm of the Trump fascist regime. And it will be the largest funded terrorist organization in the world. So Hakeem Jeffries and all the Nancy Pelosi's and all these people most of them ain't doing shit. But they can get up and talk about this. But if we stop this government shutdown, we will unleash holy hell on the United States. This will be Nazi Germany. It's bad enough. But if we have to starve and wait a year or 2 years or 3 years or until Donald Trump is out of office, we cannot end the government shutdown. And I'll tell you how this works for us. You might not get your immediate check. But if you do, and you end the government shutdown, you might die in a concentration camp. They are already killing people and deporting American citizens. So what's the price you're willing to pay? Are you willing to get with your neighbors and find a way to be fed and pay your mortgage? Because there are plenty of organizations out there that will help you. There's GoFundMe. There's all sorts of things. Or do you want to capitulate and die later? Make no mistake, this is exactly how it happened in Nazi Germany. And I consider myself, because I was taught by a Jew, an expert on this. This is how it happens. Failure to acknowledge what is going on around you does not change the outcome. So to those of you who don't want to listen or don't want to understand what is going on, that's not going to change your outcome because they're out for you. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Latinos and Muslims are the low-hanging fruit. Since 1619, the target in the United States of America has always been the descendants of enslaved black people, therefore erasing the original sin. This is why Donald Trump is going to museums. And he did take over the Kennedy Center so that they can have all white programming there. That should be a part of your general strike. Don't go to the Kennedy Center. This is why he wanted to end DEI. Because the people they always wanted to kill are black. And now that a black scientist found the cure, or the vaccine, I'm sorry, not the cure, the vaccine for COVID, Donald Trump takes the credit for fast-tracking this shit. It's just phenomenal. The atrocities that have been perpetuated against people of color and still are. I'm going to end this anti-fascist book club installment with this. White people in Congress have only existed in the United States of America due to the restraint of people of color. Not because you're superior, but because it was a high road versus a low road situation. Now, people can talk about peace all they want. But if you come to my neighborhood and get up in my face with that shit, my body, my life, and my spirit is way more important than you. Now, ICE can sit there and grin, because I know 99% of them are MAGA, Oath Keepers, and Proud Boys. But you wouldn't survive 5 minutes on the streets with me without your little buddies and people jumping on top of me. You haven't been shit. You will never be shit. And you have made yourselves great on the backs of black people, Native Americans, and now Latinos. But this is a different time. This is a different time. Your Christian God has put people here to ensure that you do not kill off his people. He wasn't there during Manifest Destiny. God wasn't there during slavery. God wasn't there during Black Wall Street. God wasn't there during the Civil Rights Movement. But he's here now. This is the John Brown Alliance. When you see something wrong, stand up and do something right.